Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Monday, the 8th of July 2024. In today's Millwall news, we have made a signing, as was prophesied over the weekend. Macaulay Langstaff has signed. It's been confirmed by the club. And here we go. This is from millwallfc.co.uk, the club's official website. Apologies if you're watching for the smallness. I had to change that for the next page that we're going to see in a minute. Millwall confirmed Macaulay Langstaff's signing. Millwall Football Club is delighted to confirm the signing of Macaulay Langstaff. The 27-year-old striker joins the Lions for an undisclosed fee, which we believe is somewhere around 700k from Notts County on a long-term contract, and becomes Neil Harris's first signing of the summer transfer window. Making his professional debut at Gateshead, Langstaff spent multiple seasons hitting the back of the net with regularity in National League North, with loan spells at Blyth Spartans and Bradford Park Avenue taking place alongside a move to York City in the summer of 2018. After 2 years in North Yorkshire, Langstaff then moved back to Gateshead before signing for Notts County in July 2022. He went on to make a name for himself at Meadow Lane, scoring an incredible 42 goals in the Vanarama National League, a new seasonal record for the 5th tier, as County and Wrexham played out a battle for the ages at the top of the National League pyramid, or at the top of the non-league pyramid. Included in that memorable campaign was 18 goals in a 13-game period. Macaulay only failing to find the net once in that run, as well as 2 hat-tricks away at Dagenham and Redbridge and Yeovil. The step up to Sky Bet League 2, Notts County won the playoffs in 22-23, did not deter Langstaff as he scored a further 29 times, around a third of the club's total 23-24 goals, to claim a third successive Golden Boot in 3 different divisions. The prolific Langstaff will make the step up to Sky Bet Championship level and join up with Neil Harris's squad ahead of the 24-25 season. And he did do an interview with a club that you can watch if you want. It's there. Macaulay Langstaff speaks as a line. You need to log into your Millwall TV. I think it's a normal Millwall TV, not Millwall TV Plus. So I had to shrink it for this. This is Lion Langstaff trains with new Millwall teammates. Macaulay Langstaff trained with his Millwall teammates for the first time on Monday. A gallery from Calmont Road can be seen below as the striker beds in ahead of this Saturday's pre-season friendly at Gillingham. Well, before then, they told us, I don't know if it's still going ahead because of heavy rain tonight, but I mean, it hasn't rained for a fair old few days, but Millwall training ground has had a bit of a problem with rain. We're supposed to be playing Bromley tomorrow, so I assume that's at the training ground. Might be at a Denny. We don't know. We don't know where it is, but we do know. I think it was 12 o'clock kickoff. So I had to shrink it to fit these pictures into the screen. So he's wearing an Apple Watch. He's wearing kit that doesn't have a number on it. But he took a picture later on, and the picture said that he was holding up the shirt with the number 17 on it. So number 17. So training with the Millwall teammates, but he seems to be training on his own. No one else is around him. Although there's a ball there, so surely someone's throwing the ball to him, because it looks like he's doing that. And then we've got seemingly other pictures from training. So there you go. Massey there on the right. If you don't recognise him, that's an under 20. That's Dylan Adai, under 21 goalkeeper. Wow, number 40. Okay. Tom Leahy there, front and centre, being tackled by Chin Hockley. Romain Esse in the background, Murray Wallace on the right. There's Massey again. There's Langstaff, so there you go. Now, I was going to make this video. I didn't make a video yesterday. I was thinking of making a video looking at Langstaff, but then I thought, if I make the video and he doesn't sign, I'm going to end up looking like a right prat. So I decided to wait, and this is what I would have showed you in that video. This is from fbref.com, and it's Macaulay Langstaff's page on that. His match logs from last season. Now, because he's playing in League 2, we don't get the full run of stats. One thing to note, he's 27 years old currently. He was born February the 3rd, so next season, at the start of next year, he'll be 28. So he really hasn't got a lot of time left, which probably explains the decision that he made this week to come down and come to Millwall. So yeah, obviously on all of the social media I've seen a lot of Notts County fans kind of upset a little bit and praising him, hoping he does well, that kind of thing, you know. Because obviously if he does well, it kind of puts Notts County on the map because he scored so many goals. Then people say, oh, like, where did he come from? He come from Notts County, although he was at Gateshead before that, so I don't know who's going to claim him. Obviously he's from Stockton. He started out in Middlesbrough. Could be one of those ones that Middlesbrough maybe regret letting go. But obviously, I'm sure. When do we play Middlesbrough? I'm sure he will be bang up for that game against Middlesbrough. Seemingly something to prove. Now playing in the same league as a team that let him go as a youngster, so that should be fun. Now, these are his games last season. Had a bit of a rough one for the first game of the season. Lost 5-1 to Sutton United, which is incredible because Sutton ended up being relegated. Got taken off. Only played 72 minutes. Started, but came off. Had 6 shots, 2 on target. Did not score. But then as we go down, so this thing here, so he hasn't got the full range. Like I said, it doesn't have passing, pass types, all of this stuff that I normally bring in the videos on a Sunday. All it's given us is goals, assists, penalty kicks made, penalty kicks attempted, shots on target, yellow cards, red cards, fouls committed, fouls drawn, offsides, and crosses and tackles won and interceptions, and own goals. But I don't think there's any of them. Is there? No own goals. Which is good because it's just off the screen, really. So you can see here, he didn't. First 3 games of the season did not score. 4th game of the season, 2 goals in a 3-1 win. 4 shots on target though. Oh, 4 shots, 2 on target. So it's 2 goals and 2 shots on target. That's 100%. Why not? But then you can see before then, look, 6 shots, 2 on target, no goals. No goals in that one, no goals in that one. And then the game after that, 7 shots, only 1 on target. Didn't score in that. So as we go down, interesting. So this is a weird old game. Obviously, Notts County's defence was a bit ropey last season, which probably put the kibosh on their season. Despite the fact that Langstaff scored so many goals, we've got a game here away to Colchester United. They lost 5-4. Langstaff scored 2 goals. He had 7 shots, 4 on target, scoring 2 goals. And there you go. And as we can see, if you're going down, he doesn't get offside that often. He's not offside that often. And he's seemingly quite clinical, not very wasteful. So you got here, there's one game here, Newport County. It's got a Y with star next to it. Star means he was the captain for that day. Had 9 shots, 2 on target, ended up getting 2 goals. So that was a bit wasteful. There's a few matches here and there, but generally, if he shoots us on target, more or less, there are a few outliers. One thing to note, he does have the odd dry patch here, which coincides with the team not doing too well. We've got this patch here from, was that February? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defeats in a row without winning 6, and he scored 1 goal in that period, despite the fact that he played basically 90 minutes for every game except for the last one when he came off in the 89th minute. So 1 goal, and he scored 1 goal he scored, and he's had, like, what have we got there, 3, 7, 11, 17, 22, 22 shots, not many on target, and only 1 goal. So there are periods as well, and we've got a period up here earlier in the season, in December. Now, interestingly, so for the FA Cup, he was dropped. They rested him for the FA Cup, which is bizarre because you can see for most of the other games he plays the full 90 minutes. It's only very, very rarely here and there he gets taken off. So we've got the game here, 5-0 win against Morecambe. He played 63 minutes. He started. He scored a hat-trick, and they took him off. I guess because they figured all the games won, like, what's the point in having Matty? Let's make the changes. Where I guess in all the other games, it's still kind of a bit up in the air. So I imagine that will change at Millwall. I don't think he's going to get too many 90 minutes, unless he is genuinely fit and is fit as a butcher's dog, and he's like one of the only players that can do 90 minutes. But we'll see how he goes with the way we play. Where was that? I was going to show you that. Yeah, so where are we at? This game here, Shrewsbury game, in the FA Cup second round, which is weird again. Like, Notts County are in League 2. You would think a game against Shrewsbury, they've got a chance of going into the third round. In the third round, in Schrodinger's third round, you could get drawn against Millwall away, which is probably a shit tie for Notts County or any other team, to be honest with you. Or you could get Man United away, which would be an absolute money spinner. But it just goes to show how far the FA Cup's fallen, that even in League 2 Notts County, they're resting players. Their main striker in the FA Cup second round with a chance of going through to the third round, and they ended up losing the game 3-2. They're bringing him on with 27 minutes left in the game. They're resting him for the FA Cup, like, because they got. I don't know if it's a case of, in these day and age of FFP, that in terms of your budget, it's better to be a League 1 team than a League 2 team and have a massive cup game in the third round. Because that's just a one-off hit of money, which may or may not be a lot because you've got to share it with the other club. Whereas if you're a League 1 team, I imagine your budget goes up because your attendance go up and the prize money goes up and away crowds go up. The amount of stuff you sell goes up and shirt sales go up. All that kind of stuff. So I imagine, is this what we're going to see more of, where the FA Cup is just totally sidelined by smaller teams that are trying to get promoted? Because what's the point? What is the promotion means more than an FA Cup run, and especially in this day and age where Premier League teams are resting players. So interesting that they rested him for those games, but it doesn't seem to be because he's tired, because he's playing full 90 minutes and the games around those games. Doesn't really make sense. So I don't know if that's maybe they had another striker that was promised game time in the FA Cup. Seems kind of weird that they would do that, but there you go. So yeah, it does look good. It does look good. So there you go. So all in all, we don't have interest. So we don't. It's because it's League 2, and obviously this is these stat websites. They don't bother with things like the league trophies. So the auto windscreen cup, as it was when we were in it. I think it's called the Bristol Street Movies now. Obviously, Notts County would have played in that, but we have no idea how he did in that. So, did he even play in that? I don't know. Maybe he didn't. But there you go. Now let me bring you more from whoscored.com. They do have a little bit more. So we can see here, 46. So he started in every single game in League 2, 46. He was sub, like I showed you, 2 times in the FA Cup. So in total, we don't have the minutes for the FA Cup, but the minutes in the league is 4,032. He ended up scoring 29 goals all in all. 6 assists, 4 yellow cards, 3.7 shots per game, which I think that's going to come down at the championship level, so he might have to hone his skills. A passing accuracy of 83.3, which for a striker is incredible. Or maybe I'm just blinded by looking at Millwall strikers stats week in, week out. That's the kind of level that Billy Mitchell and Casper De Norre get in their passing accuracy. And that's over a season. So I don't know if that means, I haven't watched much League 2 football. Do they not close down? So they get a lot of time to pass it around. I don't know. But yeah, that's very high. That is very high. So we'll see if we can keep that up. He is not a target man. He is not a target man at all. He's got 0.4 aerials per game, which is basically he wins one aerial per every 2 games, which is barely anything. So he doesn't. Maybe that's just the way Notts County played, but don't hit to him in the air because I don't think he's going to do very well. Obviously, we don't know because we don't have the full stats. We don't know how many actual aerial duels he attempted. To be honest, I could probably go through some of the games and find it actually, but I didn't. Does it really matter? Obviously, we're trying to get an overall view of what he is going forward. Now, man of the match, what that means. So obviously, if you're new to this channel, I use whoscored.com quite a lot. They have a rating system. They give each player a rating based on the stuff that they do in games, which means like defenders and like players like Jake Cooper do win a lot of aerials, get higher scores for things that they do, like winning aerials, winning tackles, stuff like that. So they give you a rating, and whoever gets the highest rating of the 2 teams on the pitch, they get the man of the match. So it's not really man of the match objectively by someone looking at it. It's just stats based on how they pick it from whoscored.com. We don't really know how they do it, their system. So he's only got it 4 times. When you imagine all of these goals that he scored for Notts County, I think he was the top scorer in League 2 last season. Only got the highest rated player on the pitch 4 times in 46 games. So there you go. So let's go down first. Let's go down. So he can also play on the left. Not very well, really. If it's AML, so according to them, AML, he played there twice, got a 5.74 rating. Played on the left midfield, 8.51. 1 appearance, 2 goals, 1 assist. So could we be looking at, rather than 2 up top, could we be looking at 4-2-3-1? Could we be looking at Langstaff on the left, Fleming in the middle, and Imaku or Esse on the right? I mean, and Nisbet up front. Or maybe we could switch it around, have Langstaff up top, Watmore on the left. Obviously Watmore, I'm not really able up to doing 90 minutes, but so here we go. So you can see what he's done there. His rating as a centre forward is 7.01. His rating as a number 10 is 7.18. His strengths, holding onto the ball, is very strong at that. Finishing, very strong. As we mentioned, aerial duels, not so good at that. Crossing, not so good at that. So he is a outside left AML. I guess that's why his rating's so low, because his crosses is not really. So he's one of those that will come as kind of like an Mbappe, kind of, that will play out wide and then run in with the ball rather than cross the ball in. So he's not really a crosser, and his defensive contribution is not very good. He likes to cut inside, does not dive into tackles. So there you go. Then let's cycle through some of this stuff. So the defensive stuff that he does: 0.4 tackles per game, 0.2 interceptions, 0.4 fouls, 0.3 clearances, 0.6 dribbles, 0.1 blocks. So yeah, he doesn't really join in the defensive stuff, and not in Notts County last season anyway. Offensively, as we've seen, 4,032 minutes, 28 goals, 6 assists, 3.7 shots per game, 0.5 key passes per game, dribbles 0.2 per game, fouled 0.5 per game, so getting fouled and getting a free kick. Offsides per game, that's offsides that he is found offside, 0.4, and dispossessed of the ball 0.6 times per game, and unscheduled touches 1.6. But you expect that for a striker, that is how it's going to be for a striker. They obviously get play if they're playing up front on their own, or as a two. There's obviously more players around them, defensive players around them, that can force them into probably losing the ball. So that's what that is. Passing wise, we have 6 assists as mentioned, 0.5 key passes, 14.5 average passes per game, which is quite low. So I imagine that's why his passing percentage is quite high. That is quite low, even for a striker. So it looks like he is like the pinnacle, the point man. He gets on the ball. He's the final piece of the puzzle. He's not really a link-up player. Crosses 0.1, long balls 0.4. If we look at EXG, I know you all love the XG. So he had an XG of 34.35. He had got 28 goals, so he's underperformed his XG by 6. So what that means is he had the chances to get 34 goals, but he only got 28. So they're saying he probably should have got more goals. And that XG per 90 minutes per game works out as 0.77. And if you remember, if you watch my videos for a while, a penalty kick is generally 0.8 XG. So a free shot on goal from 12 yards is 0.8 XG. So he does enough. He's getting enough chances per game that's equivalent to a penalty kick, which is pretty good. Obviously, this is League 2. In total, he had 172 shots, so his XG per shot. So this 34 divided by, or 172 divided by that, ends up as 0.2 XG per shot. So there you go. And that's what I just showed you. And these are his games. You can see his individual rating per game, which I guess I could have clicked on the game and found some more details about what he does in the game. But like I said, it doesn't really matter now. He's a Millwall player, so he'll have to deal with that. We've seen plenty of decent players come in to Millwall and look absolutely pony. So there you go. So if it's in reverse, this is the game in August at the first start of the season where they lost 5-1, and then it finishes the season at the top. And as you can see, his passing accuracy is quite high, as we've seen, because it looks like he doesn't do that many passes per game. He is the man who gets on the end of other people's passes and scores goals. There are some times where his passing accuracy is quite low. Is that because he's been told to do more passing, or is that because maybe, why is that? Is he playing against a two-man centre-back, three-man centre-back? Is he man-marked? Is he getting man-marked? Because obviously by then he's got a reputation of someone who can score goals. But you can see every now and then his passing accuracy is kind of low in the 60s. And then it jumps up to 85, etc, etc, etc. So here you can see aerials 1, barely any. Look, basically 2 a game is the best you can get out of him, and that's not really. He ain't really a target man. Do not ping balls forward to him. So what are we looking at here? So rating of 5.93 in a 1-1 draw. They had 3 shots in and didn't score. Okay, seems to be his worst rating as we go through these. Can I see one lower than 5? Oh, there's 5.90, 5.6. Anything lower than 5.6? Let's go down to that 5.6 and see. So he got 5.6 rating in a 3-1 defeat at home to Crewe. He had 2 shots in the game. His passing accuracy 76.9, and that, I think that's a yellow card. Yeah, he got a yellow card. So, but so he did have a little period, as we've seen. That I think that was the period that we mentioned about before in February. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games where he got under 6.5. What was his best rating? 9 something, 9.12, 9.39, 9.39. Is that the hat-trick game? That is the hat-trick game. That's the game against Morecambe where they won 5-0. He played for 64 minutes, got taken off. That was in the 29th of December. So that was 3 days after the Boxing Day game. Had 5 shots and scored a hat-trick. And I think that the one there is the assist, is it? Yeah. So he scored a hat-trick, had 1 assist in 64 minutes of football. Which is pretty good. I can see why he got 9.39. So there you go. This is who we signed, Macaulay Langstaff. We'll see how he does in Millwall, but yeah, we'll see how we do. No Tanganga today. Obviously, rumours going around that that's not happened, but I would imagine that the club may be trying to spread it out. So it might happen tomorrow, but we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.